morning, everybody. It is a beautiful day here at Marina circuit for the fourth round of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship 2025, certified by FIA. You've tuned in just in time for race one of our three races this weekend. And as you can see, it's a bright sunny morning with a little bit of wind in the air to keep the tyre temperatures and circuit temperatures a little on the cooler side than what we've been expecting to see out here in the desert. But what you do need to know going into this race is that it is now a three-man battle for the championship. Evan Gilter of France, Freddie Slater of Great Britain and Bruno Badilla of Italy are all here to try and conquer all. And on this particular circuit, it's definitely been a big one for Evan Gilter and Freddie Slater. They've taken a pole position apiece from the time qualifying. It'll be Gilter that starts pole for this one, and it'll be Freddie Slater that goes off pole position for race 3. Now the big news this weekend is that last night we launched our brand new Gen 2 Tartus F326 race car for the next season, the Tartus T326 racing car, which should make things a little bit more interesting in the 2026 running of the Formula Regional Middle East Championship. It's a car that's a little bit lighter, a little bit faster at 270 brake horsepower, stronger in terms of its safety implications and structure, and also better handling. So we should get a lot more overtaking in the 2026 iteration. That means that there's only 6 races left in Formula Regional Middle East with the current generation of car. So whoever wins the championship will be a bit of a history maker. Now there's going to be some interesting battles in this race, with the circuit being hotter than we're used to it being at this point of the day, but it's still going to be an interesting one in terms of tyre strategy and in overtakes. So who's going to get the victory done, Gilter or Slater? All bets are off. We're going to show you some of the highlights from the previous round of the championship, but we're also going to have a quick conversation with one of the Formula One juniors that have joined the championship mid-season. For Mercedes, it's China's Zhu Yanpu. Dubai Autodrome? Go on then. Let's give you the second race of the weekend and the halfway point in this dramatic Formula Regional Middle East Championship season.
You definitely have to be on the right line at all times. You know, just also to avoid all the sand that gets onto the track. As I mentioned earlier, like the bumps can be really aggressive, so you really want to make sure you avoid those at whatever cost.
Yeah, we have worked a lot with the engineer to improve ourselves. For me, on the driving side, to improve my degradation on the tires, and for the engineer to work a lot on the car to improve and to get less degradation on the races, and it has worked for the course crew, so it was nice.
Aggressive enough and hold his nerve round the outside. Slater goes for it, commits on the curve, and they're going to be banging wheels as they come off the turn.
So yeah, I want to beat them before the freak around. I want to beat them against the freak around after.
So let's see if there's going to be the move for Russian again into the lead. It's coming. It's not in enough space. When now they have the field on the side.
Great and furious racing in the midfield as there is Evan Gilter trying to pull clear of Ivan Shukwu, having stolen back the lead after an initial difficult start. Yanpu, good to see you in the Middle East once again. Last year was in F4, now stepping up to Formula Regional. How have things been?
Yeah, quite well. Obviously, it's a quite big step forward from F4 to Regional, which is quite a massive difference.
How do you compare driving the F4 car to the Formula Regional? It's still very new to you, of course, but what do you think is the biggest difference in how it feels?
Well, it is a quite a difference. It's a lot faster as well, definitely. And technical-wise, it's a bit different to the F4, which is a bit hard to get at that. And basically, it's more from the driving wise than all the power.
You've been racing with the Mercedes F1 Junior program now for a couple of seasons. What's the atmosphere been like in trying to get you from a junior driver into the world of Grand Prix racing?
Well, you know, getting support from Mercedes is always a pleasure. You know, just they plan a lot, and also they do makes things like a lot bit easier for us. And then, basically, is just a benefit with them, nice mainly.
And jumping into a team midway through a campaign, it must be very difficult for a driver to settle in. How have you found working with the Pinnacle guys?
Well, with the Pinnacle guys, we work really well together. I mean, it's always hard for a driver jumping in the middle of the season, especially in this higher category. So actually, we do find quite well with each other. We're working fine and we keep improving from my side and everything. So to me, it is quite a good working experience with the Pinnacle guys. Then it is really good.
So great to hear then from Chuyan Bu, the Mercedes F1 Junior. Great to see him in the Middle East once again. He was in F4 last season. Now here's the circuit, the one that you know and love from the world of Grand Prix racing. It is the full configuration this time for the second time we're using this layout in 2025, and the third time that we raced on this circuit. And I have to say, it's always a difficult one when it's the last time at Yas Marina. I'm going to miss this place, and I'm going to have to wait for another year before Formula Regional comes back here again. Our last round of the championship, of course, in just over a week's time, is going to be on the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar. The first time we've ever hosted a race there. Going to be a fascinating challenge for all of the drivers because, of course, nobody has ever raced a Formula Regional car around that circuit. But here we are in Yas, between 17 and 25 degrees Celsius at various points on the course, 88% humidity. You can see there's quite a bit of cloud cover, and the wind is fairly strong this weekend, which should give us a very entertaining time of things. At the moment, there is a 39-point gap between Evan Gilter and Freddie Slater in the championship battle, with Brando Badua another 26 points back. Brando Badua is 1 point ahead of Teofil Nal, but sadly Teofil Nal is no longer racing in the championship for the rest of the season. There is your pole sitter, Gigi Evan Gilter for the ART Grand Prix team. Pole position and the 2 points that go with it keep him firmly at the top of the table. But his main championship opposition, the rookie, Freddie Slater from Great Britain, is right alongside him on the grid. Expect a battle between these two in the first race of the weekend. They are going to go head-to-head to the first corner, and then for 28 minutes plus 1 lap, they'll be battling all the way to the checkered. Yugo Chukwu, the American, in the third different team in the top 3 positions. The McLaren youngster, the New York Giant, doing a fantastic job in third position on the grid with that beautiful Mario Andretti-inspired Silver Bell helmet. Very distinctive. When all these garish helmet designs are all over the grid, it's nice to see something simple and iconic from Yugo Chukwu. Fourth on the grid, the very talented Kanato Lee did a fantastic job in time qualifying in Q1. Good to see him 4th position on the grid, the Japanese driver, who obviously took a win earlier in the season. He's 9th in the standings, took the reverse grid victory at Yas Marina in round 1, race 2. Then it's Rashid Al Daheri. 3 more chances for the Emirati to score a victory overall on home soil. In the rookie standings, he has won several times this year, 3 victories in the rookie championship. And in the rookie standings, he's actually dead level on points with Freddie Slater. They have 210 points apiece in the rookie championship. So that'll be an interesting one to see who comes out on top of that challenge. A much better qualifying performance this weekend from the Frenchman. Enzo de Ligny will be in a very strong position, and it looks as though he's got a very tough mission in front of him. The RSGP driver from France, who is coached by Hadrien David within the RSGP team, but of course also masterminded by the multiple FIA karting world champion Lorenzo Travasanuto, who I'm sure will be watching very intently from home. Taito Kato, the Honda young gun in the squad at ART Grand Prix. Surely a victory is not that far away for this very inspiring young Japanese talent. He is full of excitement and thunder power going into the first few corners of a race. Brando Badua, tricky qualifying for him yesterday in both sessions. Not going to be starting towards the front. He's got a lot of work to do, but we know his tyre management is really on point, so he should be able to make up some gains through the races. It's wonderful to see the Origin team in the top end of the grid. Their man Liu Ruche of China picking up points last time out at Dubai. Now he's right up in the top 10 of the starting grid. This is the team that, don't forget, for the last few years has been bolted to the back of the grid. So Liu Ruche is working their magic, and the Chinese team is definitely flying high. Wonderful to see them right up at the sharp end of the field, and it just goes to show that all you need is a decent pair of heels and any team in these cars can get up to the sharp end of the field. It's going to be a really exciting battle for them all as they quest for the victory. But now Gilter versus Slater part 10 is about to get underway, and this really is going to be an exciting duel between them. So far this year, Evan Gilter has taken 3 race victories to Freddie Slater's 2. Everybody else has taken a win apiece only. Brando Badoa, Yugo Ogachukwu, Jin Nakamura and Kanato Lee amongst the race winners this year. Couple of absentees now as we move into the latter stages of the season. Obviously, we no longer have Jesse Kadashkedo or Reza Swerden, who were points scorers in the early phase of the season. And we no longer have Teofil Nal, who was obviously racing in the first 3 rounds of the championship. Now no longer the case. So Teofil Nal has returned to Europe to prepare for his FIA Formula 3 championship campaign. So now we are ready for the start of the season. Yugo Ogachukwu, interestingly, starting 3rd on the grid, still fancies his chances for some victories. And mathematically, he still has a good chance of finishing 3rd in the championship. He's battling away with Brando Badoa and Rashid Al Daheri to do that. So Yugo Ogachukwu, who took a victory at Dubai in race 1 and should have taken the victory, of course, in race 3 at Yas Marina in round 2, and it would have done were it not for the suspension failing and sending him into the barriers at turn 1 of the Grand Prix circuit. He would be fighting for 3rd in the championship to the end, so it'll be interesting to see which of the 3 remaining drivers in the standings will be 3rd best of the season. Brando Badoa, Rashid Al Daheri or Yugo Ogachukwu, and all 3 of them have just as equal chance of doing that. So there are battles within battles in the battles for the victory, but it's going to be really exciting to see how the contenders will go. Off we go then, the green flag flies at the front of the grid. The drivers will go around for their formation lap. We are so excited, and there's barely a movement there from Yugo Ogachukwu, who finally does get going, but it takes him quite a while to get moving. Now, that won't affect his starting grid position because the rest of the contenders do actually end up going after him. So basically, for Yugo Ogachukwu, because he was able to move away before the rest of the field overtook him, he can take his original place on the starting grid. So it's a little bit of a hiccup, but it's certainly not a panic for the American from New York City. So he'll be in a great situation for the contenders out on the course. And I actually rate Yugo Ogachukwu chances of taking the victory in this weekend very highly indeed. So we'll see how he goes from the start, but if he gets to a better start than Slater and Gilter, then it's going to be very difficult for the rest of the field to see which way he went. Well, we're going to have a very interesting duel for position, that is for sure, as the contenders are ready. Here is the starting grid in full. Evan Gilter, pole position from Freddie Slater, the championship contenders on the front row. Yugo Ogachukwu alongside Kanato Lee as they battle in the top 4 positions. 5th on the grid for Rashid Al Daheri alongside Enzo De Ligny, the Frenchman, then Taito Kato of Japan alongside Brando Badoa, the Italian, struggling to keep his championship hopes alive. 9th position for Yuru Che alongside Akshay Bora, who actually broke down during the second qualifying session yesterday. And then the 2 returnees to the paddock, Nikita Bedrin and Matteo De Palo, making their first race appearances of 2025. Ernesto De Vera alongside Aaron Cameron, then it's Hiyu Yamakoshi alongside Jin Nakamura, who had a very bad failure in the car at the end of Q1 yesterday. He'll be starting way down the field. 17th on the starting grid, it is going to be the hard-charging Jack Beaton, and the Jack Attack is alongside Dorian Pan, the Mercedes F1 Junior. Aditya Kulkarni and Kai Dadianani, the 2 British Indians in the field, will be starting on the 10th row of the grid together. 21st on the starting grid will be the hard-charging James Headley, the British driver lining up alongside his compatriot Finley Green. And then it will be Everett Stack, the American, alongside China's Julian Pu, Mercedes Junior, really struggling to get to grips with the car in qualifying. And then finally we will have Alex Sawyer of Vietnam alongside Yaroslav Bezalaho of Ukraine, and then Wang Shengwei lining up 27th at the back. 28 minutes plus 1 lap of racing to come, and it really is going to be a fantastic battle for the race victory to see who is going to get the best of it. So we'll see how it's going to be to go away the first part of the challenge ahead. So let's see who is going to get the run to the first corner. Evan Schilter and Freddie Slater line up together front row of the grid. It's going to be a championship battle between these two for the remainder of the season. Can Brando Badua get himself back into the action? How many points can Yuga Wugachukwu take off them? And will we see a charge from the drivers behind, the likes of Kanato Lee, Rashid Al Daheri? Can they make an impression on this first race of the weekend, particularly for the fans here in Yas Marina? Can Rashid Al Daheri finally take his first overall Formula Regional Middle East victory and do so on home turf? Last couple of cars coming into position, and we will now have the lights go out on top of the starting gantry. It's time for the 10th race of 15 in the 2025 Formula Regional Middle East Championship, certified by FIA. It'll be Schilter versus Slater to the first corner. Let's race at Yas Marina. Good start from Schilter, better start from Freddie Slater. He's going to get alongside and surely have the inside line for the lead into the first corner. Wugachukwu is trying to slot himself in front of Evan Schilter as well. And as they work their way through in the first corner, it is going to be Slater who leads the way. Everybody taking it nice and carefully through the first hairpin, but it's Freddie Slater who leads into turn one. Perfect start for the Englishman, and now he's going to get pressure. Schilter trying to fight it back and make the move into the hotel hairpins. Goodness me, very tight racing as Schilter goes for broke. Has to back out of it on Slater, waits for his opportunity again, but Evan Schilter fancies a move on Freddie Slater early as Wugachukwu has to fend off from Kanato Lee and Rashid Al Daheri. The top five almost as they started, with Slater, the rookie, having got ahead of Evan Schilter, the championship leader. So, can Slater pull away from Schilter, or is the Frenchman going to attack the Englishman once again? And the Formula One straight, Schilter looks motivated. So too does Brando Badua. Great start from the Italian. He's up into 6th position, ahead of also Deligny, ahead of Taito Kato. So Brando Badua already making up 2 positions, trying to fight back in the championship fight. Schilter going down the back straight towards the hairpin where Verstappen made his slam dunk move. Let's see if Slater's going to have the legs on Schilter down that back straight. We know that Schilter's got good pace in the ART. He had to think about the move on Slater. Slater trying to shake him off, but they've got the whole length of the back straight. Looks like somebody ran wide there, out of the hairpin onto the back straight, and Slater just trying to disappear and weave away from Schilter. So Schilter surely not going to be close enough to make the move on Freddie Slater. Indeed, he is not. Meanwhile, Brando Badua has to go wheel to wheel with Taito Kato to keep the Honda back driver behind him. So excellent work so far then as Freddie Slater leads over the line. Then it's Schilter, Wugachukwu, Kanato Lee, Rashid Al Daheri, then Badua, Kato, Deligny, Rivera having a good start, Liudice, Akshibora and Nikita Bedrin. Side by side, that is the Pinnacle going side by side with the RHGP car. Big slide into the corner and collision! 2 cars come together! That is Hiro Yamakoshi and Jin Nakamura. So the 2 Japanese drivers have collided into turn 1. Yamakoshi and Nakamura go together. So that is definitely going to be a safety car, I would think, unless the 2 cars can move from their position into the pits. With a problem as well comes Matteo De Palo, but it's certainly Jin Nakamura and Hiro Yamakoshi that have gone off at turn 1. So big problems indeed for those 2. It looks like there's a yellow flag at turn 12 as well. That's the W Hotel hairpin, and that's why Finley Green in the Pinnacle. So Finley Green in trouble. We've had the collision between the 2 Japanese drivers at that corner. Looks like Jin Nakamura's got going again. I'm not sure if Hiro Yamakoshi did, but certainly it looks to me as that, yes, he did get going again. So it looks to me as though we'll get a safety car, but it won't be for Nakamura or Yamakoshi. They both got going, so it looks like it's going to be Finley Green stationary at the hotel complex. So very unfortunate indeed, unless Finley Green can get going again, which he has. So apparently Finley Green has got the car moving. So he will join in at the back of the grid. Safety car, safety car. Right, so we have got 1 car that isn't moving. So the safety car has been called. Ah, no, Finley Green hasn't gone through. So the timing screen in front of me, the tracker, as it were, has lost Finley Green at the end of the 2nd sector, so he hasn't got the car moving again. Now he has. Oh, that's irritating. Finley Green does get the car moving, but only once the safety car's already been called. Oh, the irony. That's happened a few times in my commentary career. You call a safety car, and then it's not needed after all. Well, there's Matteo De Palo climbing out of the car after just 1 lap around the course. Yamakoshi's got going again to their cars. The safety car is out for the sake of argument, although Finley Green has managed to get his car moving once again. So it's kind of a false dawn almost. But I absolutely agree. You have to go for these things. You have to you can't throw caution to the winds. You have to go for the side of safety and the side of caution. At the time of the safety car, Finley Green couldn't move his car, so they had to call a safety car. It's just the irony of ironies that we then didn't go. Right, here's the replay of Yamakoshi versus Nakamura. Nakamura going far side. He tries to carry the speed right around the outside. And look, there's a third car involved in that. That looks like Jack Beaton. So I wonder if Beaton just saw that the two Japanese drivers were fighting with each other and then ended up off the road. So now we're going to see what happened to Finley Green. Is he going to exit stage left? He is indeed. So Finley Green just goes straight on, but manages to engage reverse gear and manages to get back into the race again. It took a bit of time, but Finley Green does get the car moving once again. So there are no stationary cars to clean up. Finley Green's actually retreated back to the pits. He's just driven past me in pit lane. So Finley Green, looks like there's a bigger problem with that car than meets the eye. That might be the reason why he went off at the W Hotel. I wonder if he's got a brake problem. And if that is the case, then of course it's not going to be safe to continue. So Matteo De Palo out of the race. It looks like Finley Green could be joining him. They're just checking the stability of the front wing. Is that what the actual problem is? And checking the structure and integrity of the car. Finley Green clearly reporting that something is broken. Safety car in at the end of this lap. We only needed it for one lap then. But wait, the lights are going to go out very late, because they did say in the driver's briefing that it will take a lot. It'll be a short safety car sprint, so that they don't have a lot of time to hold the field up. So the safety car driver will come in then at the end of this lap. And so it's up to Freddie Slater when we go racing, and Evan Schielter is right behind him. So this is going to be an exciting restart, and it's going to be green flags. Here we go, Slater's gone for it, and it's green, 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 green as we go back into the action once again here at Yas Marina. Slater, Schielter, Yugachukwu, Lee, Aldeherdi. Rashid Aldeherdi's already trying to make the bid on Kanato Lee. He's going to have to go round the outside of him if he wants to make the overtaking move stick. There's not a lot of room to play with. But Rashid Aldeherdi is going to commit. He's got to be careful on the inside, because that is Brandon Badoa trying to get ahead of him. Well, they work their way through on the restart perfectly, acceptably as well. Yellow flag at turn 9, so someone's gone off again at that first hairpin. Not sure who it is, but somebody's gone. I think it's Dorian Bain. Looks like Dorian Bain may have gone off at the hairpin. Certainly hasn't come through at the end of the first sector. So Dorian Bain looks like she's missing at the first section. That is such a disappointment for the French driver. So Dorian Bain appears to be in trouble at turn 9, which is of course our first corner. So as the rest of the drivers work their way through, we could need a safety car a second time, because Dorian Bain is apparently stationary at the first turn. Oh no, she's got round again, but unfortunately she has managed to recover at the back of the field rather than in her original position. So very unfortunate indeed for Dorian Bain. She now finds herself down at the back, but we do not need a safety car. So as the rest of the field continues then on the back straight, Schielter starting the attack on Freddie Slater. Slater already knows that Schielter is going to be a real thorn in his side. He's already starting to weave to try and shake off the ART driver. I'm just warming up tyres, Freddie Slater will try and convey to people. No, he's not. He's trying to shake off Evan Schielter. And Yuga Wagachukwu is fairly close to them as well at the end of this first lap of the restart. So Slater, Schielter, Yugachukwu, then Kanato Lee from Aldeherdi, Brando Badoa, then it is Onzo Delini, an almighty scrap between Rivera, Kato and Mora as they come across the line together. Watch for Rivera. He's going to have to hold off Taito Kato and Akshay Mora, who are swarming around all over him like angry wasps at a picnic. So they will continue to charge through down to the hairpin. Side by side, it looks like there is a yellow flag at 6 and 7, so that is the final chicane. So problems there, and it looks like we've lost Kai Dadianani now. So Kai Dadianani appears to have dropped off the road at yellow flag at 6 and 7, as Akshay Bora again swarms around behind Taito Kato. So Dorian Bain has continued. Possible jump start is being investigated for Taito Kato, the Japanese driver. So that is not good news. Kai Dadianani, meanwhile, has not completed the lap. So I think it's Kai Dadianani that we're having an issue with at turn 6 and 7. So it looks to me as though Kai Dadianani could well be out of the race. Certainly hasn't come through. And as a result of that, we could end up with a safety car after all. Lots of track limits warnings already. Incident between 69 and 11. That's Finley Green and Alex Sawyer. Investigated after the race. Safety car, there we go. So safety car is called the second time, and that has got to be for Kai Dadianani. Now we need to see what is happening at 6 and 7 to see what the incident is for. But certainly we are under safety car conditions for the second time. Not the best of starts, it has to be said, to this Formula Regional race after we didn't get a single safety car during race 3 at Dubai. We certainly have a couple of safety cars within the first half of the race. So we're about to see what happened to Kai Dadianani, I'm sure, because the cameras will finally be trained in on it. So we'll have a look at the section of circuit. Well, Kai Dadianani doesn't seem to be there unless he's in the next apex, is he? Is he at the next apex of the corner? Oh, there he is. Well, that'll be it then. That will definitely be the reason why we're under safety car, because the car has come to a stop on the race circuit, and Kai Dadianani has extricated himself from the car. So that's definitely why we're under safety car. At least now we know. So Freddie Slater, once again leading under safety car from Evan Shilter and Yugo Gachukwu. And there is Kai Dadianani's abandoned Evans Grand Prix car. Dorian Pan just overtaking it round the outside to join up with the rest of the field, so at least she'll get a chance to fight her way back past the likes of Yamakoshi, Wang Shengwei, Jin Nakamura, Yaroslav Veselaho, and so on and so on. So once again the safety car catches the field. Looks as though there's a lot of desperation in this race, a lot of drivers really pushing it, but it's a very difficult race circuit, a very different circuit here at Yas Marina in the early morning compared to what it is at night. So a very interesting scenario for the contenders. But it really will be an interesting run for the contenders. A lot of people joking on the stream. Is this an elimination race? You've been playing far too much grid. That's your trouble. But it does feel a little bit like one to a certain extent, doesn't it? But the officials will be able to move that car from the far side of the course then to reset the circuit and make it safe once again. That's a fairly quick job actually, because they've got a recovery truck just there at the chicane, I do believe, so it'll just be a case of pushing the car back behind the marshal post. We might even go racing this time by because of how close the marshals are to that part of the course. The marshal post is at turn 6, so if we're lucky we should get racing again this lap. They could be in the safety car at the end of this lap, although don't be too surprised if they have to go around a second time, because not only do they have to move the car, they also have to reset everything so that the recovery truck and the marshals are in their correct position. Now it looks like we're going to see what happened. So let's look as they work their way through the chicane. We may get a quick switcheroo from the camera, as obviously it follows all the way through to the Yas Marina bridge. We go back, and are we going to see what happened? Oh, just about. Well, it looks as though the car just breaks down. Looks like the car just conks out on him. So I don't know whether there was contact that led to that beforehand, but certainly Kai Dadianani managed to go through the corner, but he was on the racing line, obviously trying to make a good run out of the turn, but the car just died on him. Very unusual situation for the Evans Grand Prix driver, and it is going to take an additional lap by the look of it to bring the car back to a safe position. So we are going to go around one more time. I did say don't be too surprised, and the safety car is going to make them cut the chicane so they don't get too close to the recovery drop. That's to protect the drivers, but it's also to protect the marshals, because obviously they don't want this time. A massive well done to all of the marshals on the team here at Yas Marina, part of the Emirates Motorsports organisation, captained as they are by the Sheriff, as he is known here at Yas Marina, our good friend Imran, who looks after everybody in pit lane in Formula Regional and Formula 4, both here in Yas Marina and of course last week in Dubai as well. So the safety car leading the field around through the right and through the left under the W Hotel, and already Freddie Slater seems to have a lot of pressure on him from Evan Shilter on the previous 2 restarts, so it'll be fascinating to see how it all continues. So we've already had quite a few incidents before this second restart. We had Matteo De Palo have an incident that brought him out of the race, as well as a collision between Jin Nakamura and Hiro Yamakoshi. Both drivers got going again. Nakamura is in 21st, Yamakoshi in 23rd. We also had Finley Green come to a stop at the W Hotel. It triggered the safety car, but then about 6 seconds after the safety car was called, Finley Green was able to at least move his car out of position. Here's a replay of the start. Look at Freddie Slater's launch to the right of your picture. Just absolutely plants it on the start. Ugachukwu very nearly gets a run on Evan Gilter as well. Not so easy for Gilter to cope with, but for the championship fight, it's great for us because it now means that the championship lead could be going down from 39 points to 31 points. Here's the incident between Yamakoshi and Nakamura. Now watch for Jack Beaton on the inside. Was there a bit of contact? There might have been. It's very hard to tell from that angle. But Nakamura did lock up on the way into the turn, so whether that was enough to trigger the contact or not, I don't know. Then there is this incident. Apparently it's being investigated after the race between Finley Green and Alex Sawyer. So I don't know whether there was an initial bit of contact or not. We didn't really see it. We only saw Finley Green's aftermath, but certainly the officials want to investigate the incident after the race. And then, of course, Dorian Pain spun on the previous restart, and Kai Darianani's car came to a stop there. Safety car in at the end of this lap, so we are about to go racing. Freddie Slater's already dropped the hammer, and as they come off the turn, it is going to be a fast restart for Freddie Slater. They go under the Yas Marina circuit bridge leading to the W Hotel, and it's green, 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 green once again here at Yas Marina. Slater, Gilter, Ugachukwu, Kanato Lee, Rashid Al-Hadi and Brandon Badilla to the first corner, and Gilter has got a good run on Slater. He's not able to get the overtaking movement in the first corner, but certainly Gilter is going to be hustling Slater for the entirety of this first lap. If he can get ahead, he will. He's lost a bit of time to him out of the hairpin though, so Ugachukwu is going to be pressuring Gilter more than Slater is going to be pressured by him. So under the W Hotel and through to the far side of the course once again. Slater's got a beautiful restart with a little bit of breathing space between himself and Gilter. And now it's going to be Ugachukwu that takes up the battle on Evan Gilter as they work their way through. So this is going to be a really big charge forward from the boy from New York. Working up towards Evan Gilter, the Frenchman in the ART Grand Prix, the red and black machine. Let's see if Gilter has what it takes to close back up to Slater and shake off Ugachukwu. Looks like a much cleaner start this time, as nobody's in the wars. Everybody seems to be facing in the right direction. Tricky circuit this in the early morning, because obviously there's a lot more sand on the circuit than there would normally be. The wind last night was fairly strong, so the grip is going to be reduced. It's not quite as big a sandstorm as we saw for race 1 in Dubai. Goodness me, I've never seen that before in Formula Regional Racing, but we certainly got to see it in stereo last week. Now we're going to get to see the charges. Ugachukwu's got a run here on Evan Gilter. Gilter knows he's going to be on him, so a big charge from Ugachukwu. Can he finish the move on Evan Gilter? He slides wide and still makes the overtake. Brilliant from Ugachukwu, full of conviction, full of determination, and he makes the move stick. So Ugachukwu slides in, but by running wide, Slater has got a perfect lead. So Ugachukwu into second, Gilter trying to go for it on the inside. Can he find the move? Watch for your teammate, Kanato Lee's there, so too is Rashid Al-Hadi. So Gilter has to back down. Rashid Al-Hadi going wheel to wheel with Kanato Lee as they come off a hairpin. So can Rashid Al-Hadi be the car in front? He's going to have to work hard down to the braking zone for the W Hotel. But he slots back into P5 for the moment. Good run through the right, good run through the left, but very tight for second position. Freddie Slater must be laughing all the way to the bank. He looks like he's in perfect command for his third victory of the season, and that couldn't be better timed, with Evan Gilter struggling to thwart back his teammate Kanato Lee and get back on terms with Ugachukwu. So in terms of the championship fight, this is going to be a big pendulum swing back in the favour of Freddie Slater, who really seems to relish on this Grand Prix circuit. He did such a good job in round 1, don't forget, when it was the full Grand Prix layout. Took 2 victories that day, that weekend I should say, sorry, because he got 1 on the Saturday, 1 on the Sunday. But it looks as though Freddie Slater is back to his best at the front end. This Grand Prix layout really suiting his style. So essentially the championship fight could come down to who does best at the sail. Down the back straight. Slater, 1.7 clear of Ugachukwu with the line. I think it's gone up a bit since then. Rashid Al-Hadi trying to chase down Kanato Lee. Brandon Badua close to him. Then Deligny, Rivera, Kato, Bora. Into the chicane. Stalemate in the brakes. And it looks like side by side further back. That looks like Kato defending from Akshay Bora. As they come off the turn, they're going to be fairly close to each other. It looks like Taito Kato actually lost some positions on that lap, and now Rivera's ahead, so is Bora, so is Kulkarni. Kulkarni now into 10th position, looking good for reverse grid pole, but he moves aside because there is Bedrin and Taito Kato getting in front of him. So Bedrin now moves up into 10th, Kato to 11th, Kulkarni into 12th. I wonder if Kulkarni had to miss the chicane and he's had to give them back a position or so. Right, so car 88, Kai Darianani is reported to the stewards for crossing the track without permission. He obviously got himself, very close in the battle in the midfield. That looked like Dorian Pan going around the outside there of, that was Jack Beaton going around the outside of James Headley. So the two drivers in the midfield scrapping away. Good battle for the Australian and the Brit. But yes, Kai Darianani investigated for crossing the track after his retirement without permission. Track limits warnings. The first one for Evan Gilter. He's feeling the pressure in 3rd position. So it's Slater, Yugachukwu, Gilter, Lee, Aldaheri, Badua, Deligny, Rivera, Bora, Bedrin, Kato and Kulkarni in front of Yuruche, Aaron Cameron, James Headley and Jack Beaton squabbling away. Then Everett Stack from Jin Nakamura, Chuyan Bu, Yaroslav Azalaho and Alex Sawyer, Yu Yamakoshi, Wong Sheng Wei, Dorian Ba is next up. 7 minutes to go. Slater trying to pull clear. He's absolutely in a fairy tale at the moment. He's got a lead of 2 seconds over Yuga Wugachukwu. Excellent work for the contenders at this point as Brandon Badua closes up on Rashid Adaheri in the braking zone. Might get a run off the chicane if he's lucky, but Rashid Adaheri has it well planted. Wugachukwu bangs in the fastest lap of the race. A 1 minute 50.463. That's 0.4 of a second quicker than Freddie Slater's just done. So excellent work then from Wugachukwu. Looks like we've got an issue with our camera up at turn 1. Apologies for that. We'll get it back working again very soon indeed. But Freddie Slater leads the way by a 1.5 seconds. Wugachukwu in second. And look at Gilter, he's just dropped back from the top 2. This first race of the weekend not going so well for Evan Gilter, despite getting the pole position yesterday. And interestingly, there is a slippery surface flag that has now been removed from turn 7, so that's the final corner. So apparently the slippery surface flag was needed because while they moved the car, maybe there was still some fluid on the circuit at that point. That's caused a little bit of a shuffle of the deck. Certainly for Slater out in front, no issues. Wugachukwu, Gilter, Lee, Aldaheri, Badua, Deligny, Rivera, and now we've got Bora versus Bedrin, Kato, Kulkarni, Yuruche and Aaron Cameron. So Slater from Wugachukwu. Now we've got Gilter in front of Kanato Lee. Can Brandon Badua do anything about Rashid Adaheri in the last 5 minutes? It's pretty stalemate between these two. But the man who's really charging is the American. Yuga Wugachukwu has really come alive in this restart. He's dropped Evan Gilter. He's lapping quick. He's gone quicker than Slater in the first and second sectors. He fancies his chances of going for the victory, and that would more than showcase his ability. That would be effectively win number 3 on merit, because of course he should have won the 3rd race at round 2 at Yas Marina. His suspension failed and tipped him into the barriers. Nothing he could do about it, but Yuga Wugachukwu certainly denied the chance to get his first victory at Yas Marina. He'll certainly want to get that off his back in this first race. He's got a bit of time to go after Slater. But the problem for Slater is that he can't really afford to let Wugachukwu past him and take the victory. Because Gilter in 3rd position, this is a big opportunity for him to score decent points by comparison to drop the championship lead significantly. The gap between them is 39 points. And if Gilter finishes 3rd, that'll be 18 points for him. If Slater wins, that'll be 30. So that'll be a gain of 12 points. That's a big amount of points overhaul to lose and sacrifice if Wugachukwu gets ahead, because then he'd only gain 4 points for finishing 2nd instead of 1st. So Wugachukwu wants the win. Slater wants it just as badly, and Wugachukwu is taking multiple tenths of a second out of Slater. He's gone faster than him again in Sector 1. So Slater's got to be careful. Wugachukwu is pushing, and he's got nothing to lose. Slater's got quite a bit to lose here. A 1 minute 50.456, another new fastest lap for Yugo Chukwu. The American really is hammering the advantage he's got now. Faster than Slater again in the second sector, but only by 0.06 of a second. Slater having to respond to Yugo Chukwu pushing. So down the back straight again, Yugo Chukwu chipping away at the advantage that Slater's got. Is it going to be enough for the American to take on Slater before the end? They've got 3 minutes to go. Slater could really use a safety car here, because that would pretty much finish things off and he wouldn't have to break a sweat. But Yugo Chukwu is not going to be needing to rely on a safety car. He's got to rely on his own steely nerve and very fast dexterity as they come through. Over the line, Slater, 1 minute 50.762. Yugo Chukwu, 1 minute 50.691. Quicker again. The gap down to 1.1 seconds between them. There's a great battle coming onto the main straight as Liu Che has got some big pressure around him. He's got Kulkarni in front and Cameron and Beaton, the two Australians behind him. Aaron Cameron looking for Liu Che. Jack Beaton fancies a go. Up to the inside line, 3 cars wide nearly as Aaron Cameron tries to go round the outside of Liu Che. Can Aaron Cameron finish that move? He's going to be squeezed, but he keeps his foot relatively in. Liu Che doesn't leave him a lot of space to manoeuvre, so Cameron keeps his foot in and holds it to the inside in the W Hotel section. Brilliant from Cameron. Now Liu Che has to go off the road, tries to rejoin back in front of the Australian. So who's going to get the better of that? As they come back into view, Liu Che is behind Cameron. I think that's the best of the result that everybody could have hoped for there. I think Liu Che could have ended up with a penalty if he'd stuck to his guns. Jin Nakamura going wheel to wheel and bangs wheels with James Headley. Headley manages to hold his nerve and stay in front. But Jin Nakamura having a frustrating weekend now because of the technical failure at the end of Q1. He'll start from the back of the grid in race 3, of course. But it looks as though Nikita Bedrin is going to be reverse grid pole for race 2 tomorrow morning. So exactly where Nikita Bedrin was hoping to be, he could come up with a victory in tomorrow's race. But Yugo Chukwu is pushing faster again in sector 1, faster again in sector 2. Has Yugo Chukwu got the time to deal with Freddie Slater? 1 minute 15 seconds left on the clock. Plus, when the time runs down to 0, there is another lap of racing to come. Yugo Chukwu's got to push. Slater finally quicker than Yugo Chukwu again in the 3rd sector. As wheel to wheel, this is Liu Che and Jack Beaton. Beaton to the inside line. Holds his nerve and Liu Che goes off the road to avoid the contact. But gets in front of Jack Beaton, and I don't think Beaton's going to be happy about that. Meanwhile, further back, we've got Everett Stack engaged in a tussle with Jin Nakamura and James Headley. Great racing in the midfield as much as there is at the front, and now Everett Stack's going to try and go right round the outside. Is that going to be a move that will work for him? James Headley got boxed in behind Jin Nakamura, and Everett Stack round the outside nearly gets the move on James Headley. Very good determination from the American. So great racing everywhere you look around the circuit. A little bit of time to make up there for Veselajo and Sawyer. And Portorian Pan has got boxed in behind the 2 Pinnacles towards the tail end of the field. Well, the Pinnacle and the Origin, I should say. She hasn't been able to make the overtaking move, so I wonder if she actually took some damage in that spin and it's compromised the handling of the car. As in front of Jin Nakamura, that is a big lock-up from Jack Beaton. Time has run down to 0. Yugo Chukwu's got the gap down to less than a second. Yugo Chukwu quicker in sector 1. Slater finally quicker again in sector 2. So it's now going to come down to slipstream, I think, on the back straight. We need to be watching the leaders, really, because Slater is only about 9/10 of a second ahead of Yugo Chukwu. So it's now going to come down to determination and motivation. So the leaders will be challenging all the way down the straight. Yugo Chukwu needs to get closer to Slater than this. He's not quite close enough, though. So I think Freddie Slater may just be all right before the end of the race is out. Yugo Chukwu still not giving up, still determined to catch him. But I think Slater has done enough tyre management. They come across the line at the end of the 3rd sector, similar on pace. So I think Slater has done enough to look after the tyres these last couple of laps that it should be all right. Gilter 3rd, Canato Lee 4th, Rashid Al-Aheri P5, Brandon Badoa P6, Arzo Deligny, then Rivera, Bedrin, and the pole for race 2 should be Akshay Bora. Freddie Slater is on the last lap, and he's got 1.1 over Yugo Chukwu. Even though he's slower than the American in sector 1, that should be enough for the British driver. Fair credit to Yugo Wugachukwu. He's done a great job to try and catch Freddie Slater, but I just don't think he's had enough time. And there's, oh, someone's coming to the pits there. That's Chuyan Pu. So Chuyan Pu, the Chinese driver, out of the race by retiring before the race comes to an end. Just brought himself into the pit lane, so disappointment for the Chinese driver. He really has struggled in Formula Regional in these couple of weekends he's been here. But Freddie Slater, despite the pressure of the American, the New York sensation, Yugo Wugachukwu, who's been pushing him all the way, has done a fantastic job to look after the tyres, keep his position, and he will score 12 points more than the championship leader, Evan Schilter, and that puts Freddie Slater right back into the championship fight. His lead will be cut significantly from 39 points to 27 points, and so everybody back home in the United Kingdom can start celebrating. Freddie Slater's back, and with fantastic fashion. Down to the chicane for the last time. Yugo Wugachukwu wants to make him make one final mistake to pick up the pieces for the victory, but Freddie Slater wasn't born yesterday. Yugo Wugachukwu tries to trick him, but Slater will not budge. He will not be defeated in race one. Freddie Slater takes the victory here in Yas Marina in front of Yugo Wugachukwu. Excellent work from Freddie Slater. Evan Schilter comes home in third, and that means that the championship lead is cut from 39 points to 27 points. It's game on in the championship. Freddie Slater is back. What a fight to the line in the championship. And it's Nikita Bedrin who actually finishes 9th in the end. It's Akshay Bora who will get the reverse grid pole position for tomorrow's race. That is such a return on Akshay Bora after having a problem in Q2 yesterday and not scoring a single lap time. So Akshay Bora gets to start race 2 from pole position. His best chance yet of following his brother Nikhil into the winners list in Formula Regional. What a great race from Yugo Wugachukwu though. Even though he couldn't quite defeat Freddie Slater, he showed what he's made of once again. And the American absolutely ready for FIA Formula 3 this year, in my opinion. Could be an early championship favourite even as a rookie. But what a sensational battle between Freddie Slater and Yugo Wugachukwu. A great duel that ran the distance of the race. Wugachukwu trying to push Slater into a mistake right to the final chicane, but it wasn't to be. Wugachukwu comes home second, Schilter comes home third, and of course the winning rookie is the man on the top spot. Freddie Slater wins the race and the Rookie Cup, and so he takes the lead in the Rookie Championship, but he also moves closer to the overall championship lead. 27 points back now from Evan Schilter, and with 30 points available for the victory, wow, it's going to be a tight run to the finish of the season, that's for sure. So it's definitely going to be a tight battle to the end of the year, and the duel between Freddie Slater and Evan Schilter takes another interesting twist as Freddie Slater fights back and gains some points, just in the way that Taylor Barnard put up a great fight for Great Britain in the last 2 years against Andrea Kimi Antonelli in 2023 and against Tukka Tappanen last year. Now Freddie Slater is fighting back to take on Yugo Wugachukwu. A very tough race battle. That's also Deligny and Jack Beaton coming in at the end of their race. They'll go straight to Parc Fermé, of course. But for Evan Schilter of ART Grand Prix, Yugo Wugachukwu of RHGP, and Freddie Slater of the Mumbai Falcons, they will go to the overall podium positions. Excellent work from our contenders. They've been absolutely superb right from the start. And it's wonderful to see how the drivers have put on a good display. There is Evan Schilter pulling up. But the man who drives to his left-hand side is the number 27. Freddie Slater. What a performance in the first race of the weekend as the British boy wonder returns to the victory circle once again. Equals Evan Schilter, third win of the season, and Freddie Slater is back. The corkscrew and Dubai were slumps, but they are not the sign that Freddie Slater is out of the title fight. He's right back in it. The gap goes back down to 27 points, and all of a sudden, the Mumbai Falcons youngster looks motivated. It's game on again. Freddie Slater's final right hook is for our camera lens. Love it. Freddie Slater takes the victory both in the race and in the rookie category. So it's a double victory for Freddie Slater. Excellent result for him. Yugo Ugachukwu second and Evan Gilter in third. Kanato Lee fourth position from Rashid Aldaheri, and then Brandon Madoa in front of Onzo Deligny and Ernesto Rivera from Nikita Bedrin and Akshay Bora. There is the top 10, and of course with that 10th position, Akshay Bora will be starting race 2 tomorrow from pole position. Taito Kato just misses out on that spot, and in 12th position, the final point from race number 1 is going to go to Aditya Kulkarni. Aaron Cameron just missing out on the points from Liuda Che. Jack Beaton, Jin Nakamura, James Headley and Everett Stack from Hiro Yamakoshi, Yaroslav Vezalaho, Alex Sawyer and Wang Shengwei. Clearly there was damage to Dorian Pan's car. Despite rejoining the race after her spin at the second start, she couldn't make up any more progress. Then Chuyan Pu, Kai Darianani, Finley Green and Matteo De Palo, all retirements. Freddie Slater is back to winning ways. His third win of the season. The championship fight is reignited. A very tough race for you from pole position. It looked like the car never really woke up at any point in the race.
Yeah, at the beginning it was a bit tricky with the start for sure. We had some problem from round 2 in Abu Dhabi, so I need to work on this, and then a bit of dig on the front, so it didn't help for the race and catch the other. So yeah, a bit tricky, but we will work a lot in the afternoon to be better tomorrow and to get as much as point as possible.
You still get to start race 2 tomorrow, 2 places in front, so a chance to make back some points in race 2. Now a bit of knowledge as well, ready ahead of the second race?
Yeah, a lot of knowledge, sorry, and yeah, we'll do our best to come back with a victory tomorrow.
Good job today, Evan. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's have a quick word with Yugo Ugachukwu, the man who was giving chase all the way throughout, very nearly grabbing his next victory in the campaign. Yugo, that was a tough race out there. You definitely took the bull by the horns and really started to chase. There was a very quick car in the middle section of the race.
Yeah, I think at the beginning I was just trying to, manage a little bit of the tire. After the safety car, I felt I had a really good pace, so I just went for the move and it worked out. Then I got into P2. The chase was on. Was getting a little bit lap by lap. I thought maybe it was possible, but yeah, towards the end I started to struggle with tires as well. So didn't quite have enough, but yeah, overall I'll say pretty good. We made good points and the pace is good, so that's positive, and looking forward to the next few races tomorrow.
Without the earlier safety car, do you think there might have been another bit of time left in the tank to go for Freddie, or would this tyre degradation basically make it irrelevant?
Yeah, maybe. Hard to say. I think a few more laps and maybe I could have put him under pressure a bit more, but he done a good job. He didn't do mistakes, so yeah, it would have been close, I think, if we just had a bit more racing laps.
Good job today, Hugo, and more valuable points. Well done.
Thank you.
Let's grab a word with the man who is back to the top stop of the podium. Rookie victory and overall victory for the third time this year. Freddie Slater, good to see you back. You obviously really love this Yas Marina Grand Prix circuit. It seems to suit you very well. All three of your wins have come on this place now.
Yeah, obviously in Dubai we just didn't execute it very well. We struggled to put everything together from team side, from my side. So bit of an off weekend, but no, we're back. So good start. Obviously different conditions this time because we've been racing in the night, all the other races. So we all had to adapt, and yeah, it was tough at the end.
Not just a few points gained, but 12 points gained from this race as well. The gap down to 27 points. Is this a resurgence? Is it game on in the championship again now?
Oh no, of course, there's so many points up for grabs. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to go out there to win. 27 points is quite a nice number for me, so hopefully we can close it down. So, yeah, we'll see.
I have a feeling it'll be less than that by the end of the weekend if things keep going as they are. Well done, Freddie. Good job.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Here at Yas Marina, after the first of our Formula Regional Middle East Championship races, certified by FIA, race 10 of the 2025 Championship. In third position for France, Evan Schütter. A big congratulations to the ART Grand Prix driver. More solid points on the board and still leading the championship. In second position for the United States, Hugo Ugachukwu. A great fighting drive for the American, so close to taking yet another victory. But your race winner in both rookie and overall for the United Kingdom, Freddie Slater! Great to see the Mumbai Falcon back on the top spot once again for his third victory of the season. Now it's my honour to invite Mr. Ong Mong Chai, the Deputy General Manager of GT Tyre China Investment Company, to present the trophies on the podium on this occasion. Starting in third position. In second position for the United States of America and RHGP, Hugo Ugachukwu. And to our race winner for the United Kingdom and Mumbai Falcons Racing, Freddie Slater. He also takes the rookie victory in the same breath. So our podium is complete. And we ask all of the drivers to look to the pit wall. The official photographers are there on the pit wall for the joint picture. A very exciting opening race of the weekend with two more to go tomorrow in Formula Regional Middle East. We're in for an exciting time as the drivers get ready in style. They're not going to spray on this occasion. They want to make sure that their race suits are in good condition for tomorrow. It's very hot here at Yas Marina. So that wraps things up for the 10th race of the season, the first of our Formula Regional Middle East races. We'll be back with more action from them tomorrow. Our next race on the circuit here is going to be the F4 Middle East Championship. That'll be taking place just after midday here on the Yas Marina circuit. We'll see you in a few hours. Thank you guys, well done. Well done, all good. No problem. All good, boys? Yeah, not too bad. Can't grumble. Okay, well done, guys. Good job, good job, good job.